I'm actually very bad at recording these videos. It takes me forever. When I started recording this, I actually had coffee in this cup. I no longer do. I will go get another soon. I want to show you a Neovim plugin that I've been ignoring for a year and a half because the name, at least in my opinion, is very bad. And it's not the author's fault, it's just bad timing. It's a plugin that bundled by default by my distribution, and still I've ignored it, right? Even though that's a high recommendation, I've ignored it because the name just threw me off. Okay, so I've got this keyboard set up so you can see the keys I'm pressing. Watch, I'm on line 8. I'm going to do D-I curly brace. Now, you understand what happened there, right? I used a text object to delete inside the curly brace. I can do D-A curly brace. I'm going to delete around the curly brace. All right, none of that should be new to you. I'll even suggest that if that is new to you, probably go learn a bit more about Vim before watching this video, because none of this will be impressive. So the default text objects are amazing, right? Like I can change in a word and say, wow, right? I'll undo that. But they only get you so far, because there are times when Vim, just on its own, can't know enough about your code. But Neovim uses Treesitter. I truly don't know very much about Treesitter, but I know that it allows for creations of grammars for your language, right? So your editor can know more about the code that you're writing than just like a regex parser would be able to. And it can know things like whether or not I'm in a function. So let's say I was on line 14 and I wanted to just get rid of this entire function. What would I do? If I do DI braces, it's not going to work, right? Can I do DIP, delete in paragraph? That's not really what I wanted. What if I could do DIF, delete in function? Well, I can now, thanks to this plugin. And this plugin can do a lot more. We're going to introduce the plugin now that you realize what it actually does, okay? And then we'll go through some of its cool features. So the plugin is called mini.ai, and now you can see maybe why I ignored it, because I assumed that it was an AI plugin. It came out about 2 years ago, and it was right when AI was really popping off. So I just thought, okay, this is going to be another AI thing, which, I mean, that's useful, but I wasn't looking for that. But no, AI here is to extend and create the A and I text objects, right? So that's that around or that inside text objects. And it does it, as far as I understand, using Treesitter. The plugin feels extremely native to me. Very quickly, I just began to rely on it, and it just feels natural. Like this should be part of Neovim. I understand why it's not. I'm going to take us through this table of some of the most useful functionality and show you how it works. Okay, I'm on line 14 and I want to delete what's inside that console log. So normally I would do DI and then parentheses, right? And that's going to delete that. And then if I actually was on this line and I want to delete inside the curly braces, I would say DI curly braces. Both of those, to me, and I guess to the plugin author, are doing very similar things, right? They're deleting inside some kind of enclosing character. So what I can actually do is say, instead of DI parentheses, I can say DIB, right? So brackets or braces or whatever you want to call it, right? And I can do the same thing here, DIB, and it's deleting inside of the curly braces. So with DIB, I can delete inside tags or braces or parentheses. So it's just like a one-stop shop for deleting inside enclosing characters. Okay, in a similar vein, if I am in this string here, I can do DI backtick, right, to delete that string. But I can also now do DIQ, which is going to delete inside the quotes. And it doesn't care what kind of quotes they are, right? If they're backticks, if they are double quotes, single quote, that'll work. So I did DIQ, great. And now if I jump down to line 15 and then I hit dot, DIQs again, and now these are different types of quotes, but it still works, right? So the top one was backticks, these ones are single quotation marks. I hit dot, right, using the dot repeat, it still works. So I'm on line 17 and I can do DIF, and that's going to delete inside the entire function. In this case it's a method, but methods are functions, right? So I can DIF, great, but I can also DILF, which is delete inside last function. So it's the function before this one. So if I'm down here and I want to delete inside the last function, I can do that. Or I can do delete around last function and just get rid of the function above me, right? Similarly, I can do delete around next function, DANF, you get the idea, and it will delete the function below. I think that's super cool. the more observant of you may have noticed that on line 11, I am taking in parameters that I never end up actually really using. I just spit them back out. I'm doing that just for the video to show you something kind of cool. Imagine you're on line 11 here and you want to get rid of this first parameter. How would you do that? Okay, so me, honestly, probably I would do this. Right? Like, that's not great, but that's what I would do. But now I've got something way better, right? I can say delete around argument, DAA. There, perfect, great, and I've done that. So aren't I just deleting a word? No, because it's also gotten rid of the colon. It's also gotten rid of the type, right? So same thing here, DAA, great. I wonder if I can do this. Can I do delete around last argument? Let's see, should work, right? DALA, yeah, I mean, okay. That's what I love. Like it just feels so native. It feels like everything is building blocks, like little things layered together to form something that's just like, oh, this feels great. So just to solidify that, let's say I am currently where I am right here on user, and I realize that user ID, I actually want to change this. So I can change inside next argument, right? And then I can put whatever I want, but I'm going to leave it because otherwise my editor will get mad at me. When I say editor, I mean Neovim. No one edits. I edit these videos slowly. Okay, I'm just about out of time here, but I want to show you one more very cool thing here. All the text objects so far have been pretty standard, right? Like working with a function. You can even look, you can do DIC, delete inside class. Okay, fine. But what about if you're working in some kind of weird language that doesn't have those things, right? So maybe you're working with AppleScript. I'll have a video about AppleScript at some point. And it's like, this thing behaves weirdly. So I can do this now, delete inside question mark. Okay, now I've used question mark, so I'm doing custom edges here. And so the left edge is gonna be sorry. The right edge is gonna be time. And then it's deleted inside sorry and time. I mean, I have no use for that right now, but someday, I promise you, someday I will. If you're using LazyVim, the distribution, mini.ai is already in there for you, so you can just start using it, and I encourage you to play around with it. If you aren't using LazyVim, the distribution, but you're using a package manager, super easy to set up. One thing I didn't show, and I probably should. So the reason I can use some of these fancier text objects like delete inside function is because Neovim knows that this is a TypeScript file, right? That's how a lot of this stuff works. So if I was to say set file type, it's going to tell me you're in a TypeScript file. Okay, great. So I can delete inside function. It knows what that function is. And like if I made a new arrow function like this, I have to give it a name. Name is always dog. Okay. Then I do delete inside function. It's going to know, okay, this is a function right here, right? And I can do delete around function. Okay, it's going to know that because it knows that we're in TypeScript and it knows what TypeScript functions are. Again, that's Treesitter. I'm 99% sure that's Treesitter. But if I have my file types wrong, right? So if I say file type here, and I'm going to say that this is HTML instead. All right, so now if I try and do delete inside function, that's not going to work. It's not going to be able to figure out what's happening here. Right now, other things will work, like delete inside braces, that works, right? Because it's just looking for braces. But if your file type is wrong, it can't figure that out, right? So if you are working in a language that either doesn't have a Treesitter grammar or you haven't set things up properly, maybe you're using an experimental templating language, something like that, a lot of this stuff won't work for you. So you'll have to figure that stuff out. And good luck, because that would be fun. What a fun thing to do with your life. Before I go, if you like this video and want to support the channel, send me $50.